gone through these tables, right? So if you want to check what is the currency used by your client, we use the table T000. If you want to check what all details are mentioned in your company code, we use a table T001. Okay, in the same way, this is also one of the table, Universal Journal. So the table code is ACDOCA. So let me just note down the few things. So earlier how it was working, like in the older version, in ECC, okay, in ECC data was stored in a different tables. Let's say if you want to store a data of FI module, then FI data will be stored in a table name BSEG and BKPF. And if you want to store any data of controlling module, it was stored in a table COEP. Then any data related to asset accounting was getting stored in ANEP table. Then any data related to COPA, profitability analysis, was stored in a table CE1X. Then material ledger data, ML data, was stored in ML tables. Okay, so like this, each and every data will be stored in a separate table over there. So because of this, what was happening? The data reconciliation between FI and CO was required at that time, right? Because 80% of data in controlling module flows from FI only. If you do an external transaction, then only CO can generate the internal reports. Then only they can analyze the company's cost and the revenue. So 80% of data from FI will be flown to the controlling module. So that is the reason we need a data reconciliation between FI and CO module. So that was not happening easily in this process, storing data in different tables. So reports were getting slower and the complexity to generate any report or to do any analysis was very higher at that time. So what happened in SAP S4HANA, what system did? System introduced this universal journal concept. Okay, so whatever transaction, whatever configuration we do in FI, in controlling, in asset accounting, in material ledger, in profitability analysis, okay, every other modules data was stored in the same table, that is ACDOCA table. So all the data are stored in one lean item table, ACDOCA table, and which is also known as universal journal here. So there is no need to do a reconciliation between FI and CO internally. By system itself, automatically FI and CO got reconciled at that time. Means in this SAP S4HANA. So the moment whatever data gets updated to FI module, the same data gets updated to a controlling module. So we can get a real-time reporting, and also as we are using HANA database, right? It's an in-memory database. So performance speeds are also faster compared to ECC now. So this is what universal journal is. So now FI and CO are automatically updated at the same time. Like when you post any expense, like any expense in GL account, then cost center will automatically will get updated, profit center will updated, internal order will be updated, right? So all are stored in one same document line only now. So this is what universal journal is. Any doubt up to this?
Ma'am, what is ECC? Would you please tell ECD stands for?
ERP Central Component. It is the legacy version of SAP, older version of SAP.
Okay, ma'am, got it.
What actually is reconciling here?
Connecting two different modules, linking two different modules manually in a simple language, if we say. So, yes, structure of universal journal. Now, the main table is our ACDOC. Under this table only all the data are getting stored. Now, how if you want to differentiate the data, right, under the same table, if you want that, okay, in under ACDOC table, I want a data of company code, I want a data of GL account, or let's say if you want a data of any fiscal year, then how can you get it? So this table contains multiple fields under it. Okay, so I'm just giving the name of the common fields. Okay, otherwise with the practice you will get this fields by your own. So for company code, the field code is BUKRS. These are the technical names. Okay, under ACDOCA table, if you want to find any specific data for any specific configuration, then for every configuration we have a technical name. So for company code, the technical name is BUKRS. These technical names are known as fields in SAP. For GL account, the technical name is RACCT. Then, yes, amount fields. For amount fields, the technical name is local and parallel currency. You can just differentiate there under it. Then for ledger, yes, that is also one of the important part for you. All these ledgers and all we'll study in a future sessions. So if you want to find out that particular transaction is stored in which of your ledger, then for that the field name is RLDNR. So these are some common fields. Okay, let me mention profit center field as well. Profit center is PRCTR, and cost center field is KOSTL. So these are the fields name. Like if under ACDOCA table, as I mentioned, right, all these modules data were stored in one single table. And if you want that, okay, in ACDOCA table, you just want data of a company code, then you have to mention this particular field name under it and you will get it. So
Ma'am, is there any long form of ACDOC or just a
it's a
code like
universal journal.
it's a universal? Okay.
Yeah, the name is Universal Journal, and the table name is the technical name of a Universal Journal is ACDOCA.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. What is this is what Universal Journal is. Now Universal Journal is there. Of course, all our data will stored here, but how it will stored? We need to inform our system that which storage we have to use. Okay, which ledger we have to use here.
Isha, one question before you move on.
Yeah.
This line, yeah, AC Doka holds line item level data, or it is aggregated at some level?
No, it handles all the line item details. It all handles all the configuration details as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So now the next concept is ledgers in SAP. So let's understand first what is ledger and then we'll understand the types of ledger. Now, what is the work of ledger? Any idea?
It'll, uh, ledger is basically for every activity or for every business. What do you call a function of a business? You'll maintain one book, right? That's nothing but ledger.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping day-to-day transactions.
Yes. So as we
Map
told,
record
it is
keep
used to be a pure day-to-day transaction. Yes, it is used to record and manage our accounting data according to any specific count.
summarize data,
Sorry?
summarize transactions.
It doesn't keep summarized, it keeps the detailed only.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So ledger is nothing but it helps to record our day-to-day accounting data, okay, and it defines that which accounting principle we follows up. Based on that accounting principle, it will store our data. Like we do have multiple accounting principles, right? IFRS, US GAAP, local GAAP, right? So it defines that which kind of in accounting principle is used here. This accounting principle will be discussed later, okay. But also, please mute yourself if you guys are not discussing here.
Please. Can you please move?
Yeah. So, well, also from your end, you guys just do some R&D on this accounting principle, IFRS and US GAAP. What is it? Because we have to use the same thing in asset accounting as well, and this is a basic accounting that you should have a knowledge about it. So, yes, let's come back to the ledger. So, ledger is nothing but it's a book in which all financial transactions are recorded, right? Right. So, here also in SAP, ledgers allow us to maintain our multiple accounting standards like IFRS, local GAAP, US GAAP in the same SAP system. Now, your company is following two types of accounting principles. One is IFRS. What does IFRS stands for? Sorry?
International.
What does accounting principle, sorry, IFRS stands for?
International
International Financial Reporting Standards.
reporting.
Um,
International Financial Reporting
Financial
Standards.
Reporting Standards.
Yeah. So here accounting principle is the same. It defines the set of financial reporting rules. Okay, our company has to follow when we are preparing our financial statements. So basically, we can say it's like a rule book which is used to prepare our financial statements, right? Now, accounting principles are globally. We have IFRS, US GAAP, and Indian GAAP. So IFRS stands for International International Financial Reporting Standards. US GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles, right? Now, why do we need this accounting principle in our companies? Many companies must not many but all of the companies has to prepare their financial statements, right? So they will follow different kind of rules means they will follow the different kinds of rule book. One rule book is local GAAP, that is for statutory reporting. One rule book is IFRS, that is for group reporting. One rule book is US GAAP, that is for parent company reporting, right? So instead of using separate system, what SAP do here? SAP allows parallel accounting using different accounting principle in the same company. So that is the reason we are using here ledgers. So here we have three different types of ledger. Out of that, let's understand the very first ledger, that is known as leading ledger. So the very first one is leading ledger, and leading ledger is identified with the code 0L. So this ledger is the standard ledger and it's a mandatory ledger. We are never going to create leading ledger. It is always there in our system. How we had a dummy PC, in the same way leading ledgers are also there always. By default ledger it is. Just you have to assign it to a controlling area, nothing else. So what does it does? Leading ledger represent as a main accounting principle. Now let's say my main accounting principle in my company is Indian GAAP. So if I store the data in the ledger 0L, okay, by default it will get stored over there. So it will follow the rules of Indian GAAP only, not IFRS nor US GAAP there. So this is what leading ledger is. Okay, let me mention. It's the standard ledger or mandatory ledger delivered by SAP itself. Okay, and it represents main accounting principle. So in this leading ledger, it does an integration with all modules like our FI, CO, ML, asset accounting and all. Okay, so this is whatever leading ledger is. Now, what if your company is also following another accounting principle, IFRS? That's an international accounting principle, right? And here, leading ledger is assigned to Indian GAAP. That's a local accounting principle. So, to use another method, to use another rule to generate your accounting books, okay, for that we have to assign another ledger. So, it will store the data according to our IFRS accounting principle. So for that we'll use non-leading ledger. Okay, here non-leading ledger is not identified with any specific code. We can create non-leading ledger as per our need. So what is non-leading ledger? It is used for parallel accounting. Parallel accounting means if you have to use multiple accounting principles then. Yes, it is not a mandatory ledger. It is the optional ledger. Only if it's needed, then only we need to create it. Otherwise, there is no need to it. And it can also follow different fiscal year or accounting principle. As I told, it is used for parallel accounting. So for an example, let's say leading ledger we have, right? Leading ledger 0L uses Indian GAAP accounting rule, and non-leading ledger, let's say I'm creating it as 2L, okay, and it follows IFRS rule. So in this two different accounting rules, okay, my company is going to generate their accounting books over there, account ledgers over there. So both post from the same transaction, but they will store the values separately as per their given rules there. Clear this leading ledger and non-leading ledger? Okay, third we have is an extension ledger. Extension ledger is also not identified with any kind of specific ledger code. Okay, if it's needed, then we'll create just like our non-leading ledger. So what is extension ledger? It does not store any complete data. Okay, it just stores the adjustment data. Whatever the difference data is there between two principal rules, whatever the data are the adjustment entries, that is just stored in extension ledger. So it will take a base from our leading ledger 0L, okay, and accordingly he is going to store all the adjustment data there. So main ledger will be 0L, okay, and for adjustment purpose I will create one extension as a E1 Okay, so all the adjustment ledger for our management reporting will be stored over there. So extension ledger is also the optional ledger only, but it is used for storing only adjustment entries. Okay, and it takes case data from the standard ledger, means leading ledger. So these are the three ledgers. So here what we have to do in our controlling area, we have to assign this leading ledger. So all our data will get stored in the leading ledger so that we can follow the accounting principles over there. Now to assign this leading ledger to our controlling area, we have to use a path. We don't have a T code for this. So let's use a path, as it's a path, configuration path. So it will start from SPRO, IMG, financial accounting global settings, then to ledgers, then to integration of controlling with FI, and at last define ledger to controlling version. So let's follow the path and let's assign leading ledger 0L. Yeah. So let's go to path SPRO, IMG, financial accounting global settings, then to ledgers, and here integration of controlling with financial accounting, and at last define ledger for controlling version. Execute this. Go to new entry. So what is our controlling area? My controlling area is TG01. Which version we are using in our controlling area? Yes.
Ma'am, new version, that is SAP for HANA.
I'm not asking the version of our system. I'm asking the version of our controlling area which is used to generate our report. If you guys remember, then we have done a configuration for the version 0. We have not maintained the version. Sorry, my bad. I made a mistake. We have just skipped that part. Okay, just for a minute, let's skip this ledger part. And once again, let's come back to the maintain reporting versions in SAP. Now, we want to generate a report, right? Are you guys sure we have not done it? Number ranges and directly profit center. Now, under this controlling area configuration only, we have to maintain the version for our controlling area. Now here we are going to maintain the version 0. What is the version 0? Let's understand. For that, the T code is OK EQ. So here, maintain the reporting version is basically used to define different financial statement versions for our like reporting purpose only. Okay. Now, this reporting version determines how financial data is structured and how it is going to be presented in our reports, like which kind of format they are going to use it. So now companies is always going to need a different formats, right, to generate their financial report. Like for statutory reporting there will be a different report format. For management reporting there will be a different format. For reporting in a group, like group reporting, also we have different formats. And for internal analysis also we are going to use a different format. So what we do here, instead of changing GL accounts every time, SAP will allow you to create different reporting structures. Okay, and this different reporting structures can be created with the help of this reporting version here. So why do we need this? Where these reporting versions will be used? Now let's see, if you generate a financial statement reports, right, then while generating this FSR financial statement reports, our system should know that which format they have to use, in which format their financial statement reports will get generated. If you are generating balance sheet, then our system should have a knowledge that this balance sheet will be generated in which format. Same P&L statement also, and same our cost of sales accounting reports also, right? So it works together with the FSV, means financial statement version. So to define that which format to be used while generating a report, we have to assign a version 0. What is this version 0 now? This version 0 gives us a report, okay, in 3 different dimensions there. Let me just note it down about the reporting version. Okay, so here we are going to define the version 0. Why? Because the version 0 provides us a report format of actual data. Actual data means whatever real cost and real revenue is earned by your company, that will be reflected there. Then planned data. Planned data means whatever planned cost and planned revenue is being done. Okay, like basically forecasted expense and forecasted revenue, whatever we have earned in our company. And the variance. Variance means difference between actual and planned is there, right? That will be reflected here with the help of a version 0. So this is the reason to maintain the version 0. So whenever we'll generate any financial reports, we will get our report in this 3 different dimension wise. Okay, like whatever actual cost or expenses we have, cost or revenues we have earned in our company, that will be reflected. Whatever planned is there, like whatever forecasted we have done, and whatever the difference is there between our actual expense and revenue and whatever planned expense and revenues are there, right? So difference between that will be showed only if you have maintained the version 0 in a controlling area. So here let's maintain it. Let's go to a T code. Okay, EQ. So here you can see this version 0 is maintaining all the three types of data. So select the version 0. Now go to settings for each fiscal year. Just mention your controlling area TG01 and click OK. So here you can see it is coming from 2026. Now yes, when we were creating controlling area, at that time I asked you guys that whether I need to mention the year 2026 or 2025. So you guys have to answer me that question tomorrow, because when we'll be doing the posting of transaction, at that time you will get one error tomorrow. So let's see. Okay, you guys have to solve that error tomorrow. So here we don't have to do anything, just save it. So here we have saved, this data was saved. Now once again go back, select the version 0, go to settings for profit center accounting. Now go to new entries. So here I'm mentioning here 2026. Okay, why? Because here while creating our controlling area in OKKP, here okay, here we have mentioned already 2025, so you guys don't need to answer it tomorrow now. It's already cleared. So yes, then mention your 2025. There is no issue. Like even if I mention 2026, you will not get that error. So yeah, mention the year 2025. Mention your online transfer as selected. Yes, whatever data we are transferring online, whether it's actual, planned, or variance, that will be booked, means that will be fetched here. Whatever lean items are getting generated, that will be also fetched. At what exchange rate? At an exchange rate of standard translation and at average rate method, and save it. So here version 0 is maintained. Now as the version 0 is maintained, we can proceed further for assigning our ledger to controlling area. So let's come back to this. Let's follow the path. SPRO, IMG, financial accounting global settings, then to ledger, integration of controlling with financial accounting, and at last define ledger for controlling version. Execute this. Go to new entry. Now mention your controlling area. My controlling area is TG01, and which version we have maintained for our controlling area? Version 0. If you go to the search option, you will see the version 0 is already maintained. And which ledger we have to assign. Even if you go to the search option, already the ledger 0L has been available here. So select ledger 0L. Now just press enter. System will fetch the controlling area name, version name, and the value of version view. Right, and save the data. So here to my it's just an informative message, click OK. So here to my controlling area, my leading ledger is assigned. Any doubt up to this?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, when we enter O0L, right? Uh, all the time there is a drop down of 0L, or this time only?
No, every time 0L will be always there.
Okay, okay, okay.
Other ledgers can vary, but 0L will be there. Even if you mention manually, na 0, then also it will work.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Madam, entries in the other ledger, how does that process? Like when you post an entry using 0L, if
Hmm.
I, for example, if I have another ledger for maybe IFRS, in that case,
Hmm.
a user has to again post an entry using IFRS as well, or it is
No, no, no,
automatically
no.
set it up already.
There is a configuration named as parallel accounting. Okay, so what we have to do in that parallel accounting to our controlling area, we have to assign whatever ledgers we are using. And there we have to define that which ledger follows which kind of accounting principle. So we'll
Oh,
assign that accounting principle to individual ledgers, means the respective ledgers, and by default, system will follow the rule.
oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, like it's a totally another configuration. Like it takes 3 to 4 days to understand that configuration. Yeah. So now the next topic is document splitting. So any idea what is document splitting? Yes, anyone? Okay. Sorry. So it is a tool in SAP that automatically,
breaks down the line.
sorry,
Items by dimension like profit center,
hmm, then
segment or business touring area.
okay, what is segments? Means what does segment means? Sorry.
Mhm.
Okay. So what is document splitting? Now when you generate your when whenever you generate any financial reports like your balance sheet or your P&L accounts, right? Then you're going to generate your balance sheet as per your company wise only, right? Like Reliance Trends balance sheet, it will be there. Reliance Digital's balance sheet, it will be there, right? But with the help of this document splitting, basically it's a modern accounting now. Okay, what companies do? Companies can generate their financial reports like their balance sheet and P&L as per any specific profit center wise, as per any specific business area wise, or as per their specific segment wise. And same P&L also you can generate for, let's say it's for specific profit center, means we have two profit centers, right? One is Pune and other is Chennai. So you can generate separate balance sheet for Pune and Chennai and separate P&L for Pune and Chennai there. So that is what document splitting is. Document splitting ensures that our balance sheet and P&L are always balanced for each and every profit center, each and every business area, and each and every segment. So without document splitting, system cannot ensure that each of your financial report can get generated as per this different dimension wise. Due to this reason, we have this document splitting. Now, what happens? Hmm, okay, I'm posting one expense, rent expense, right? So, entry will be what? Rent expense account debit to bank account, right? Now, rent is one of the expense of our company. So, let's say I'm booking it under my department of IT department. So rent expense of rupees 10,000 is booked for IT department. So expense has cost center, right? But bank account doesn't have any kind of specific cost center or nor the profit center. So what happened there? Profit center wise report becomes unbalanced cost center wise and profit center wise report will get unbalanced there, because here we don't have any specific cost accounting, or we can say account assignment for bank GL there. So due to that reason, we can have a glitch in our reports, or we can say reports will not be appropriate there. So what happens with the document splitting now? Let's say we have a booked and rent expense. So entries what? Rent expense account debit to bank account credit. And this rent expense of 10,000 we have booked for Delhi Pune IT department, right? So now to Pune, rent expense. We have assigned this cost center, Pune IT, and for bank also we got to know that okay, this particular transaction is happening under which of our profit center. So here you can generate a profit center wise reporting, and it will be a balanced report because it is applied to each and every lean items as we have splitted the data. So this is what document splitting is. But here we are not going to do the document splitting. Here we are going to deactivate the document splitting. Yeah, first let's discuss this business area. Business area is same as like your profit center only. Okay, like basically it is used to prepare your financial statements for any specific line of a business or for any specific geographical area. Okay, it's like an independent of a company code. Suppose mm, a company operates in manufacturing division, trading division, and service division, right? Or it operates in north region, or it operates in south region, right? So even if they belong to the same company code, management, if management want to separate their balance sheet and P&L as per the division wise or as per the region wise, we can do it with the help of this, creating them as a business area. So business area, you can say it's same kind of profit center only, but we are not more making business areas in a use. We are mostly using our profit centers nowadays. So that is what business area is. Now, here as I told, we are not going to keep document splitting as an active. We want document splitting to inactive. Why we want to deactive? Any idea? If we deactive, then of course we won't be able to generate reports in these three different dimensions. It will be just generated at a company code level wise. First of all, is it clear what is document splitting?
Yes, ma'am.
So, can anyone let me know why we need to deactivate it? So, here we deactivate mean why? Because see, in some scenarios, company does not require segment-wise balance sheet and a business area-wise balance sheet, right? Nor as a profit center-wise balance sheet. Only it needs a company code level reporting only. So then there is no need to keep document splitting active. Like basically, this happens when it's a small organization. Okay, in small organization, you are not going to divide your financial reports in these three dimensions. Already, you don't have that much work only that can be divided. Then another reason is whenever you migrate the data, right? Whenever the migration is happening, like from migrating data from ECC to S4 HANA, at that time also we do deactivate it. Why? Because historical data may not have profit center or segment information, right? So opening balances may not balance at a segment level at that time. So due to that, to avoid this migration errors, company while doing this migration process, okay, at an initial stage, we deactivate our document splitting there. Then whenever you do then implementation, right? Whenever you are setting up a new company, so at that time doing the configuration or during the testing time, we deactivate it. Why? Because still we have not provided the whole information to our system, and if we just try to taste it with the basic information, it will create a glitch in the reports. So these are the reasons to deactivate your document splitting. So as of now, we are also going to deactivate it only. And to deactivate your document splitting, we have to follow a path how we have used for uh, assigning your ledger to controlling area. In the same way, here also we have to do it. So let's do it. Let's deactivate it. SPRO, IMG, Financial Accounting, General Ledger Accounting, Business Transaction, then document splitting, activate document splitting. Under activate, we have to use deactivation as per company code. So let's follow the path. Let's go to SPRO, IMG, Financial Accounting, General Ledger Accounting, Business Transactions, Document Splitting, execute activate document splitting. Here, go to deactivation per company code. Go to position and search for your company code TG01. So only for your company code you are inactivating your document splitting. Otherwise, for other company code it is active only. So it is inactivation is done as per the company code level only. It's not done at a general level. So that's it. With this, we have completed our additional configuration as well. So from tomorrow, we can start posting our journal entries. If you have any doubt up to this, do let me know. Okay then, let's call it a day for today. Then we'll be meeting tomorrow with the same timing tomorrow, 8:30 to 9:30. Okay.
Isha, sorry, one question. I was trying to create something. The user, what is the T code to unlock the users?
Unlock the user SM12.
Oh, SM12. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's end it here. We'll be meeting tomorrow with the same timing, 8:30 to 9:30. Bye bye everyone. Have a good night ahead.
Good night, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Right.